up, guys? My name is Brandon. I represent the big bad AARP CQB. It's like a family, you know. The Airsoft thing's just a bonus. N1 means everything to me. It's all I know. It's all I've been playing at. I just love the no engagement distance and the way everybody treats players. We respect the rentals. We try not to overshoot anybody, and it's all about having fun. Airsoft has affected my life, not only from keeping me off the streets, but keeping me off bad habits and just keeping me hanging out with good people and friends, you know, and making memories and creating memories that are gonna last a lifetime.
Hello everybody, my name is Nick. I airsoft for AARP and I airsoft at Project N1 on a weekly basis. And ever since I've been airsofting at Project N1, it's been about 1 year now, it has done more for me than I can describe in this short video. It has optimized all my moods and all my levels of energy. It is just the best thing that I possibly could have taken on as a hobby. And if you get to go to such a great arena like Project N1, I highly implore you to do so.
I've been playing Airsoft for about 2 years, and I got into the competitive side about a year ago for Jungle Ball, MLA, and SpeedQB. I've been playing with AARP, and what made me want to play for them was that they seemed more like a family than a team. They had more focus on having fun and playing by the objective than to just win, even though they do win a lot, and we still win a lot. When it came down to finding a field that I was going to practice at that would be my home field, I chose Project N1 for the exact same reason. They're friends. They treat you like family, not just a customer or someone there to pay money so that they can make money off of, excuse me. It's the same with a lot of the people, the airsofters that go to Project N1. I've made so many friends that I talk to outside of just airsofting. I gotta say thank you to Project N1. Thank you to AARP, CQB, and just to the whole Southern California Airsoft community for letting me be a part of it.
My name is Bill with AARP, CQB, Airsoft team at Project N1 in El Monte, California. N1 means to me family, friends, great times, and a great community.
N1 represents community. It's not about the flash or getting attention. It's about having fun. It's about helping the new guy. It's about helping each other and becoming a better player.
The first time that I went to Project N1, I was like shocked at the skill level that they had there. They got players from all over the place. They play outdoor, indoor, milsim, jungle ball, SpeedQB, you know, real steel shooters. It attracts all kinds of players, and that's why people get good there, and that's why I think the most competitive players come out of Project N1.
It's helped me grow as a player and definitely helped me grow as an individual. I mean, you could ask any of the staff there, and I'm sure some of the players. I was a little hot-headed in the beginning. I'd yell out, you know, call your hits and all that kind of stuff, but being how the field is and how the staff is and really just the community there, it really helps players grow and get better and really learn, if they want to, you know, how to improve themselves. And so wholeheartedly Project N1 has helped me improve, not only as a player but as a person off the field.
I am truly thankful for Project N1 and the staff and the players for helping shape me into the player that I am today.
What's up, Combat Allies? OD Green, Desert Tan, bands or no bands? I'm Mark from SoCal Tactical Airsoft. Welcome to the story of Project N1. For those of you who may be unaware, Project N1 is the epicenter of SpeedQB and SpeedSoft here in Southern California, and is arguably one of the most impactful airsoft parks in just its first few years of being open. Now I could keep going, but I'm gonna stop myself right here, and I'm gonna let John, the founder and owner of Project N1, break it down starting from the beginning. Welcome to the story of Project N1. Hey, what's up, guys? I'm here with John, the founder and owner of Project N1. How you doing, man?
Good.
Now, I know you have this whole airsoft empire in here, but can you talk about your first introduction in airsoft?
Yeah, so probably the first thing I ever got me into airsoft was one of my friends needed help at one of his stores. I agreed to help, and as compensation, he bought me an airsoft gun.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And what was that like when you first were getting into it? Where did you like to play?
For the first few years that I played airsoft, it was usually in the backyard. I actually didn't find out that there was actual arenas and places that you could play other people until later on.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple years later.
How old were you when you started playing?
So I was probably like 15, 16 when I first got my first gun. And then around 18, I got, you would say, a real airsoft gun.
Yeah.
And then around 19, 20 is when I started playing.
Okay. And at what point would you say that you got like super into it?
Probably when I was like 15, 16. Yeah. As soon as I got my first one, that was it. I've always had something about guns always intrigued me, the mechanical side.
Yeah.
And then from there, it kind of just, I took apart my first gun, took apart my next gun, took apart the next gun. And then from there, it just kind of kept growing into something I thought of every day, pretty much. Yeah.
Definitely. And then with the airsoft park scene, what drove you to dream of starting Project N1? Was it anything out on the field that you kind of wanted to get away from, or was it something that you wanted to build yourself?
Actually, it was it came from the result of our home field closing down, and then the next field not really living up to what we wanted.
Yeah.
And then from there, we decided, okay, we could probably do what we want at least for the bare minimum. We could probably provide a pretty good arena to the players and kind of bring back what we fell in love with.
What was your original park that you wanted to go to?
It was Tac City in South El Monte. That's where most of us grew up playing. Most of us met. Most of my friends and even current day friends. You know, we've been friends since then. It was from there that we started and kind of what we are trying to bring back.
Okay, and what would you say is the main thing that you're trying to bring back that you want players to experience here at Project N1?
It's probably just the friends and community. The very friendly, competitive nature. Emphasis on friendly, competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now, where did the name Project N1 come from?
So it's a mix of a few things. N1 technically stands for North One. And it's a callback to when North versus South first started.
Yeah.
Right? And then we went from there, and we always considered North 1 to be South El Monte, and then North 2 to be Irwindale.
Yeah.
So most of us being from South El Monte, we called it North 1. And Project is just pretty much captures the essence that N1 is always growing. We're always working on it. And we never want to become stale or stagnant and boring, basically. And that's kind of what Project N1 stands for. There's another meaning, but I can't really say what it means.
Okay. The secret meaning.
Yeah.
And I definitely get what you're saying with trying to keep the park evolving. I think that's why all the players I talk to are always coming here, because I think dudes, you want to go to a park over and over and over again. And if you're going to keep coming to the same place, it's great if they add things to the menu.
Sure.
And I've seen since you guys first started always trying new things. I know this may all look great now, but what were some of the struggles trying to get Project N1 off of the ground?
Honestly, as far as operations go, the field itself wasn't hard to do. We just, as the team itself has years of experience as far as running it, as well as from a player standpoint, we all kind of understand what we want.
Yeah.
So that wasn't difficult. The difficult part was actually just doing everything legally.
Yeah, what was it like trying to get an airsoft park zoned right next to housing?
Yeah, so that, I mean, a few people know this, but it basically took us a year to get off the ground from when we started the project to when we were able to open. It was about a year. And that's basically a year of rent, you know, a year of everything. People don't understand that. It's like you got to pay the rent even if you're not open yet.
That's all out of pocket.
You got to pay rent, you got to pay insurance, you got to pay all kinds of stuff, a lot of money. And you're just burning through money as you sit there waiting for your city to work with you.
Yeah. And I'm sure airsoft insurance is not cheap.
Yeah. Yeah, building insurance. I mean, the permits and the zoning that we had to get from the city were just... It's special to airsoft.
Yeah, I would assume. You see a lot of airsoft parks that have been around for a long time or already kind of have a rapport, but not too many airsoft parks are able to just kind of pop up, stay there for more than 2 or 3 years. You see a lot of people kind of pop up and then fade away and pop up and fizzle. But I'm glad to see that you guys have been able to stick around even with some of those early difficulties.
Yeah.
What was it like when you first opened up? I know you guys did a couple soft openings, let players play here before, but when you had the official grand opening, what was it like to see players from all over the place come and kind of experience your dream?
I mean, it was absolutely awesome. It's still it still is. Every time I see a new player come in, you know, it makes me really happy.
Yeah.
It's just like you know you're growing. Or if you get people from out of state or even out of the country, you know, it blows my mind when people from other parts of the world are like, hey, I can't wait to go there and stuff like that. It's like, I'm just some small field in El Monte. It's like, come on in whenever you want, you know, something like that. It makes me truly happy. Yeah.
And that's one thing I think players in Southern California don't understand so much sometimes is it's like a lot of airsoft culture, SpeedQB, Speedsoft culture is all around you. So you look at it and it's like, oh, I could just go to that park or go to that store. But you don't realize in like the grand spectrum of things that like dudes all over the world are trying to do what they see in Project N1 videos.
Yeah.
Like when you post a video to Instagram for your friends, that doesn't mean that they're the only people that see it.
Yeah.
Like the world tries to imitate what they see from here. And I know early on you guys were trying a lot of different things that I see other parks kind of picking up on. Can you talk about what the Indoor Milsim League was?
Yeah, so you play video games?
I do.
You play Rainbow Six Siege?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. So Indoor Milsim was basically the combination of Rainbow Six Siege with Milsim rules.
Okay.
So my team and I, Project N1 and our staff, we like to go to Milsim events. Line Claw, Milsim West, and there's a few other that we have to try out soon. But we enjoy that level of immersion. Combining that with certain aspects from Rainbow Six Siege, such as multiple entryways, you know, an actual structure where it's like a house with rooms, hallways, and then you bring in grenades, full auto, a round count limit, and it totally changes the game. You can spray and pray, or you can sit back and wait for somebody to come down this hallway. Yeah. You know, you could breach in a room with a 4-man stack, or you just throw grenades in there. You know, it's totally what it's about. And there's a lot of Milsim events, but no one actually brought something, I would say, indoor CQB tactical like on that level. And that's what we tried to do. With the modular field, we were able to make a house. Yeah. And we could change it out every time we had the event. And, you know, it's never the same, which made it fun.
Yeah. And I think that's one thing as well. Anytime I ever go to a large operation, my favorite part is when you get to like into the houses, or when you get to break down doors and go through buildings with like your group of buddies that you've just amassed during the event. That's always so much fun to me. And you talked about video games. I know most airsofters got into airsoft or found more interest into it because of games like Rainbow Six, Battlefield 4, Battlefield 3, and some of the earlier Call of Duties as well. What would you say is one of the most impactful video games for you?
I consider myself kind of old school when it comes to video games. So I grew up playing games like Counter-Strike, you know, from as early as 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, Source, and then now there's like there's so many Counter-Strikes now, but
it's been around.
That's where I started, you know, going from LAN parties to LAN cafes, you know, paying $2 an hour to play, something crazy like that. And then all the way up to Battlefield, and even now, the new Battlefield, the new Call of Duty, I do play from time to time. So that's a tough one. I would probably say a good mix between Counter-Strike and Call of Duty. Modern Warfare 2, that was the best one. A mix between those two is probably what impacted this place a good deal. Yeah.
And that's one thing I look at with the event that you guys host, Jungle Ball. A lot of players from overseas always talk about how closely it represents like Call of Duty and like the video games that they play. Can you talk about what Jungle Ball is to Project N1?
To be honest, Jungle Ball is it's the brainchild of our players. So I sit down with a few. It started with me sitting down with Figgy from LTD. We sat down and we talked about, hey, we need to do something like this because that's what people want. So we did it. And then from that point on, I kind of just asked everybody who participated, like, hey, what do you want? How do you want this done? How do you want that done? How do you want the field set up? And pretty much taking feedback from everybody is how we set up Jungle Ball. And I feel that's a good reason why it runs so well, is because it's what the players want. And I don't go out of my way to enforce any rules or anything that the players aren't okay with. So if they want a rule change, if everyone agrees to it, I'll change the rule. You know, other than that, most people understand that there's no bias toward a team, and there's no favoritism as far as any aspect of Jungle Ball. You know, everyone's got the chance to compete, whether you're first timer or a long time veteran.
Yeah.
You can come in and play and expect to be treated the same as anybody else who's been playing. You know? Just follow the rules.
And that's one thing I find awesome about it, is that the establishment of Project N1 and all the reps and everything haven't stepped into a point where it's not fun anymore. Because I think sometimes you see that in Airsoft where people just try and over police. And I understand it, sometimes you want to be able to mix like the birthday party crowd with the 20-year Airsoft crowd. But I think Jungle Ball does that excellently, where the younger players don't just want to stay as like inexperienced young players forever. People eventually want to get better guns. They want to play with bigger teams. They want to compete, and they don't just want to be stuck kind of running around in circles, having a fun time, kicking out the players that may not want to play with them. And I think I see all kinds of dudes, all kinds of people talking about, from inexperienced players to players that are just trying it out after playing for 15, 20 years, that they all find Jungle Ball interesting. And how did the moving, talking about tournaments as well, how did the moving of SpeedQB from Tac City here to Project N1 affect N1?
I mean, it was absolutely positive. It kind of cemented N1 as a legit official tournament arena. One of the funny things is the N1 team grew up playing with SYG, the founders of SpeedQB. We grew up playing with them at Tac City, South El Monte. We played there, you know, three, 4 times a week. We would go to BJ's after and hang out. You know, it was a different time then, and we had a lot of fun. So it was cool that they were able to come here and kind of bring it all back together. Whether or not things, you know, turn out in the future, we'll see. But I mean, it's great to see where they are, being that we are friends. So it's cool to see that they took off that far and they've been able to grow to where they are now. It's awesome. And it's even more awesome that we're able to be a part of it. You know, I'm very grateful that they chose N1 to host SpeedQB.
Yeah, I think that was a huge moment for me, because when that kind of went up, you kind of just, I was hoping to see it go somewhere where it could not just look like a super temporary home, but I felt like the culture would accept it as well. Because you could take that to a lot of different places, but I think the people that live at Project N1 were interested in that culture to begin with. You weren't taking it to somewhere and alienating the local culture. And I know, talking with the last Jungle Ball, I know that you guys had to cancel that due to COVID-19. Can you talk about how COVID-19 has affected Project N1?
Yeah, it's pretty much just taking us back to where we started. Just giving us time to improve, make improvements, and set up things for the future. I mean, there's no that's a nice way to put it. There's nothing nice about COVID-19, you know. We're just waiting to reopen. You know, I get messages every day asking if we're open yet, when we'll open. Hey man, if I give you some money, will you open up for me? You know, stuff like that. I get it all the time, and it's like, you just hold on, man. We're waiting. As soon as we can open, we'll let you guys in. Don't you worry about it.
Definitely.
That's pretty much it. You know?
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people are in that same boat as well, of like, I just want to get back out on the airsoft fields. And I know that, I'm sure with all the different types of events that you guys have done, I'm sure you guys have some stuff planned for after shutdown. What are some of the things that we can look forward to in these next couple months?
Well, we're definitely going to continue Jungle Ball, time permitting, and we're looking to set some the next season of SpeedQB up. Other than that, we have a few other events that we might do. Something like Indoor Milsim, we might bring that back. We have a lot of people asking about that every time it's mentioned. So we'll probably bring that back. One of the big things is, when we're allowed to open, we're gonna have a big free event, basically, where, you know, just get out here and play. Completely free. I mean, if you need rentals and stuff, then we'll have it. Other than that, we'd love to see you, you know, come experience the new field.
And can you talk about some of the work that you guys have done in here?
Yeah, so we expanded the field further behind me. You can't really see it, but we just turned it from an L to an open rectangle, and that just opens up the field and changes the dynamic of gameplay. When it was the L, which I had no problem with. You could tell when you were losing control or gaining control of the field. With it being an open rectangle, you really don't know.
Yeah.
You got to have a solid team, or else you could get swept from the left in seconds and not even know.
Yeah.
That's one of the big things. Other than that, we've combined the staging rooms just to kind of bring everybody together.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna talk trash, you gotta,
You got to do it in front of them.
say it with your chest or don't say it at all.
Exactly.
Something like that, and it's to bring everyone back together, to make everyone friends again.
Yeah. And I think that'll be really nice coming out of this, being able to see all the different teams and friends that are to be and that have been friends for a long time.
Yeah.
I thank you for basically managing Project N1, keeping it open, a nice home for the local community. That way guys don't have to drive tens and tens of hours to try and get to a place that accepts them and kind of brings them in. See a lot of people of different cultures, from Milsim to SpeedQB to SpeedSoft, just all being able to come here. You'll see dudes and it's like, oh, hey man, I'm gonna go to Project N1 tonight. You wanna come? Or dude, people will be sitting at home and it's like, you know what, I'm not doing anything. Let's just go.
Let's just go, yeah.
Because it's a place that people always know that they'll be able to have fun.
Yeah.
And I think that, like you were talking about, with being able to adjust the field, having the modular field, I think that helps out a lot because you can keep changing it around.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you guys taking in everyone's responses and everything like that.
Yeah, we do. I feel like, because we're a customer service, what's the point of having a field if you don't have players,
Exactly.
And as as much as we know, as great as we are, if we don't get feedback, we can't improve. And that's one of the big things actually I commend my staff for, that they all listen and they all try to improve this place. I don't do this alone. I have a full team that they handle everything that I need to handle, that needs to be handled when I'm not here to do it. And I couldn't do it without them, for sure.
Definitely. Yeah. Props for you for having such a solid team around you, because sometimes you'll just have the one guy that does a great job, but when the owner isn't there, the refs may act a different way. But I've noticed that everyone on the team is a gem. So if you guys want to, when this is all over, definitely have to come to Project N1. I don't care where you're from. If you're from Europe, Africa, Asia, you have to come check out Project N1.
I appreciate that, but just get out and play anywhere.
Definitely. Keep the sport alive.
Yeah. Grow Airsoft.